welcome to Around the District. I'm your host, Linda Dahlhair. In today's show, we want to share with you some of the excitement we captured from around the district as another school year came to an end. We start off with the Academy for Leadership at Mill Creek Elementary, where students were thrilled to see so many famous visitors around the gymnasium. From Serena Williams to John Cena, former U.S. presidents, famous historians to entertainers, the entire school came to see the 5th grade on display as part of the Living Wax Museum, a project-based learning assignment.
We let them choose any person, famous, living or dead, and kind of let them run with it. So they were able to include a ton of different learning into this project. They researched, they wrote an entire speech, they learned some social studies aspects, they're practicing their speaking and listening skills. So through this project-based learning, we hit all different types of learning styles. And because it was most student choice, the kids are really enjoying the presentation of it all.
I think today went really well. I don't think the kids quite knew what to expect, and I think they've really kind of come to life. It's very interesting to see how they interact with like the older grades in 4th grade versus kindergarten. We talk about writing to an audience, and they've kind of adapted that to speaking. So they've actually wrote different speeches for like the kindergarten and 1st graders versus the 3rd and 4th graders. And I think it's allowed for our school to kind of learn about different people as well, because there's a lot of people in this room that younger students may not know of, and it's been fun to see them interact.
Barack Obama, the first Black American president, studied in the United States.
For the students on display, it was more than just an assignment. It was something fun and creative, as well as telling the life story of their selected subject so it could encourage and make a difference.
I love monkeys and she loves monkeys, and I thought that it was just a really good match because we both have something in common, and I've thought about like doing her for a bunch of other projects throughout my school life. So I think that they could connect to her because all the information is really detailed, and she's just a really interesting person to connect to.
I chose Paul Revere because he's a historical hero, and my grandparents so happily had a costume. I was an American hero, and I got to tell people all about this great man.
I love the Wax Museum because it was just really informational for everybody, and especially me because I want to learn about everybody here, especially my person, so I had a lot of fun.
It was very fun. I suggest you do it anytime you can.
Definitely a fun learning experience for those students. Now, we all need a little encouragement, right? We could use an example of what to look forward to. Well, that's exactly what the Tates Creek Elementary students received from the Tates Creek High School seniors as members of the 2017 graduating class processed through the hallways of the elementary school for a senior walk, giving the young students a sight for their future. Students were excited and celebrated the moment with high fives, signs, and hugs. Staying at Tates Creek Elementary, we've all heard the phrase, "There's an app for that." Well, what makes a successful app? That's what these 5th grade STEM students from Tates Creek Elementary were charged with doing in an effort to establish a 21st century learning model. As part of their learning, the students collaborated on ideas using blended platforms like Google Classroom and Google Docs to stay connected and share real-time information from various resources.
The purpose of this project was to give my students in STEM a real-world 21st century learning environment where they could use all the skills that I've taught in STEM and partner that with their literacy skills, with their persuasive speaking and writing, and kind of encompass this big summative type of project that was both engaging and fun and allowed for student choice, but also really gave them the opportunity to use those 21st century skills with collaborating and communicating and critically thinking and being creative, which is something that's really hard to teach kids how to do.
As a GT teacher, one of the important things we address is looking at how do you refine whatever you're working on? How do you make it better? How do you analyze the positives and the negatives and then address those? So I think in this project, the kids really had to constantly reevaluate how they were approaching the problem and adjust their thinking by putting themselves in the shoes of an app user, an app creator, and also an investor who might want to invest in this.
Once the apps were designed, created, and operational, the students were tasked with selling the app ideas to professionals from Lexington's Awesome Inc.
I was really impressed by how far they were with their ideas. We work with startups all the time, and it's, I don't think anybody's ever finished with their idea. Everybody's always working through their idea, building a little bit, making adjustments based on what their customers need, and continuing. And so I was really impressed just by where they were at their current state.
The teachers and guests were thrilled with the students' work and efforts on this project.
I think they did well. I think if you were to see where they started and where they ended up, there was a lot of growth in the bit of time we've worked on the presentation side.
You know, the kids actually did end up learning something from it, and the Awesome Inc. bringing in the community members to give them that sales pitch and business side of things, to really give them a real world experience, kind of stumped them, and that's often hard to do with kids that are in our gifted and talented clustered. So I think that success was definitely impeccable. But also, I was very impressed by the way in which kids were able to communicate with each other, both electronically through Google Classroom and through Google Docs and Google Slides, but also verbally and in person with our Shark Tank judges.
I thought overall it went really well. I think this type of project is really good for kids to experiment with by researching their product that they want to build. It gives them a better understanding of what's applicable and not. And then by having us come in and hearing their presentation, we can also give them input. To say, oh, though your app idea is great, there's this and this that you didn't account for.
Creating apps for this or that for most can be challenging, but for these Tates Creek Elementary 21st century learners, there is now an app for that. The portrait of a Fayette County Public Schools graduate is academically prepared, college and career ready, civically engaged, culturally competent, and equipped for the future. Evie Maxon, a 4th grade student at Sandersville Elementary, is embracing her portrait piece of being civically engaged by creating Bags of Hope to assist students without a home or who are in the state's foster care program. Let's take a look at this thoughtful service Evie is involved in, even as a primary student. At Sandersville Elementary, teachers and staff have always encouraged kindness throughout a variety of community service projects. Evie Maxon, a 4th grader, took that ideology and came up with Bags of Hope. She collects gently used backpacks and suitcases for youngsters without a home or who may be in the state's foster care program.
Parents just couldn't pay for them, or they just had to have someone adopt them, or for kids who just started out homeless and they didn't have a house to begin with.
A month ago, Evie heard a guest speaker at her church talking about the Children in Transition program and the number of homeless children in Kentucky. Evie knew she just had to help. With her mother's assistance, she came up with Bags of Hope.
My mom had a friend. He collects bags, sort of like bikes for bluegrass. I just thought it was cool and I wanted to help those in need. So my mom learned a few things from him, and we decided to collect bags for foster kids and kids that are homeless.
Children may have to go into the foster system, that they just have to pick up whatever they have and basically in a trash bag. And it really touched her heart, and she just wanted to reach out and give them a reason to smile in a horrible situation.
So I think that most of our students have grown up with a spirit of giving every single year. And it's not always teacher-led or school-led initiatives. We've had lots of different initiatives from students in the past that are really good ideas, great ideas like Evie's, that maybe we don't think of because we're adults. And so we just give them a platform. We make this happen for them.
When asked how long Evie thought she would continue Bags of Hope, she had a very optimistic answer.
As long as it takes to kind of help the homeless in foster care, and if it goes on forever, I'm fine with that too.
We are certainly grateful for Evie's heart and service. So let's have some fun. This is what some district middle schoolers and high schoolers got together to do as part of the Life Skills event hosted by the Family Worship Center here in Fayette County.
The purpose of this activity is to bring all of our students from all of our high schools together to mix and mingle and to participate in the activities, to meet the police officers and just become familiar with police officers, knowing that they are friendly and that they are welcoming and that they enjoy interacting with the students also. Sometimes they meet police officers and it's probably not in the best situation, so this gives them an opportunity to just mix and mingle with the police officers. Also at school we focus on fitness and wellness for our students, and we know today with technology and all the other devices that our students like to play with rather than going outside and getting some exercise.
Students came for a few hours to celebrate and enjoy some great activities with friends and visitors.
Sometimes people have different views of law enforcement, so we want to make sure that they can see us as human, approachable, and just have a good relationship with them. So if we're ever in the community and they need our help, they know they can talk to us, they can ask us questions. And today we actually got to interact with them, they got to shake our hands, they got to hug us, and that was really good because whenever we're working, sometimes we don't get that as much because we have to be on guard a little bit. So to be able to kind of let down our guard, let them interact, touch and everything, it was fantastic. It's an experience we don't get to have very often. So for me, this has been fantastic. I don't think there's anything better than coming and making these connections. I hope it'll carry long term.
With some line dancing, exercise, board games, karaoke, arts and crafts, bowling, exhibits, and compassion, it was an overall great day for these students.
Like every year, it's the funnest thing ever in the school year.
Today is my special day.
Today was a great day. It was a very successful day. It was wonderful to see how our community has come together. Family Worship Center Church opening their facilities to us to come here and hold this awesome event, to have the Fayette County Police Department with us, the YMCA, and Fayette County Public Schools staff and students from all of our high schools with us today. Just seeing the smiles on the faces, the bus drivers getting our students here on time, and also coming in and mixing and mingling with us. That it was definitely a community partnership today in all areas, from the school, from the police department, YMCA, and Family Worship Center opening their facility to us to house that event here today.
Come on, Levi, lead him. Look at David Miller getting down.
With a day away from the classroom, fun and fellowship was enough to put a smile on this face. Do you know how much energy your school is using each year? What appliances are being used the most? How much does all of this cost? Well, the E-team at Julius Marks Elementary is collecting data on the school's energy usage. They're looking at electricity used, light levels, and conducting secret audits on teacher classrooms. We'll be right back after their report.
Hello, my name is Mason Goodpastor, and here at Julius Marks we're doing something called a secret audit. What is a secret audit, you might ask? A secret audit is whenever we test the light frequency to see if it needs to be strengthened or decreased, as well as a plug lobe, which sees how much energy one electronic is consuming, as well as a patrol record. The patrol record helps us know what type of electronics is in each room.
This kind of plug whatever.
Light up?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's just all we need to know. Okay, so we have the plug right here, and so we put the device in. So the money per year, it uses about $40 per year, and then $3.28 per month, and then it uses 43 watts, and then it uses 37 units of CO2 per month, and then 460 units per year.
we're trying to find out how much electricity people are using, and we're trying to see if they need to stop using that appliance as much as they are at that moment, or they should probably use it a little more.
You could like check like if there's like a fan or
a small device,
you can
like
check
a sharpener.
Yeah, a pencil sharpener, or well, I'm not sure if you could do a computer or not, but I think it's possible.
But you'd have to be using that appliance at that moment while you're trying to record it down. So that's kind of a problem. But you can also do like personal appliances like
a
mini
cell phone.
fridges and microwaves and stuff.
Oh my God, there's a turtle.
There's a fish.
Aww.
Doesn't matter how many there are, it matters how much electricity, how much they're using.
We can't unplug the fish's tank.
I know.
We can't unplug anything. We're not unplugging.
Yeah, we're not plug load.
I know. 1, 2,
Check
3.
this off.
There's 3 computers
off.
on.
Or projectors, yeah. The projector's on, it's just...
No, there's
it's
no
plugged
green
in.
light.
It's plugged in.
Printers. How many printers? Oh,
I need
projectors.
to
They have a
see.
projector.
1.
That's 4.
Let's check how many
Then
there are.
personal appliances.
Printer.
5. 1, 2,
And monitors.
7, 8. 8 computers. So that's basically what we're doing. We're just monitoring the electricity being used around the room.
And what did you find out in this room? Is she using a lot, using not too much?
It's kind of in the middle, but we put it for energy being conserved because they're off. But if there's like a plug load, but since they're off, it won't use as much energy as if they were on.
I use pretty much because there's a few that are on, but pretty much everything that has to be is on and pretty much everything that doesn't have to be on is not on.
So basically, we are trying to find ways to help conserve our school's energy, and this is a light monitor. So we monitor how much light is being used, and we can, it turns on that way. And you put this about a table height up, and it shows you how much light is being used, how much energy. And it changes a lot because a lot of the energy is going back and forth between the lights. See, there are many lights up here. We can put it over here where there's still lights.
Exactly. So you turn it on. You hold it out away from you so you don't. And right now it says about 20.5. Whoops.
Where's the other lights?
Okay, so if you turn all the lights on, what happens?
Well,
It's probably going to go up.
and then now it says 78.2. It's still going up and down. So it went from 20 to 78.2, which is like a big increase for these.
As we know, there are many lights, and we are going to write it down, and we are going to try and see how much less we need to get, and we're going to tell the rest of the school how much light we need to cut down on.
My name's Sifa, and we just wanted to tell everybody, we told everybody to conserve energy, and ways to conserve energy are turning off lights when you leave a room and sharing appliances with other people.
Eating healthy foods, especially those you enjoy, can certainly help avoid wasting food. This was the goal for the Green Team at Julius Marks Elementary as they worked closely with cafeteria staff to offer more selective food choices during school lunches.
Our Green Team is our environmental team at the school, and they were concerned about the amount of waste of food in our cafeteria. So we actually went and talked to the cafeteria director about this. We invited her to one of our Green Team meetings and said we were interested in trying to do a project with her. The cafeteria director and our team came up with an idea that we would do a food sampling survey for the school. And she would set up little sample cups for the kids, and my green team then completed or created a survey.
What we did is we provided fruit and vegetable samples for our students. And the idea was that we wanted to expose students to different types of fruits and vegetables, give them an opportunity to have a chance to take a taste of something maybe they haven't tried before. Our whole idea is to get kids more familiar with fruits and vegetables. So we're hoping to get them more familiar so they're taking the things that they recognize and there's less throwing out of product. And our goal is to discover through our surveys what types of fruits and vegetables are the favorites so we can offer them more and give them the choices that they want.
Oh, you did? Look at how many are in your light. You liked it. Yes.
Look how many.
What did you think of the peach?
Look how many veggies.
Good? All right, you guys ready for juice? Okay,
I don't even
will you
wanna try
I
this
wonder why she
anymore.
said she got green loaf.
I like the watermelon.
Yep. Yeah, we have some, we must have honeydew and
I can give this to my stepsister. I like the vegetables and the fruit.
You like the vegetables and the fruit? The grape was written right here. Great. Many of our children haven't really, they're very picky, some of them, or they haven't been exposed to different types of vegetables, maybe because of their culture, maybe because of what their parents like. So this, to them, I think was a safe environment where they could just try a little bite of something, and I told them they didn't have to eat the whole thing. There were many kids that really loved kiwi. They'd never tried it, they'd never seen it, and they were very surprised that they really liked it. We also had people trying the honeydew and cantaloupe melon, and they were surprised that they liked it. And broccoli and cauliflower, surprisingly, they were hits. And once they saw the other kids trying them, they tried them.
We tried to stay with things that we would be able to order in and that are on our menus and that we use. We did try things like kiwi, red grapes and green grapes. They're going to look a little bit different. We tried to have a sampling of different vegetables. We have salads every day, and we have things called veggie dippers that are a mixture of fresh vegetables. So getting children to recognize them and understand what they are and how they taste.
The kids were very excited about this when they came in and found out that they were actually going to get to eat food, and they saw the big cooler fridge that we wheeled in here every single day. They were very excited. They were really interested in participating. I showed them how it was, we were collecting basically data. It was a survey and data and how we were going to use it in the future. And they were a part of making decisions at the school. And they were totally happy with they were very excited when they walked in and heard through the school what they would be doing in science that week.
Our JME students are awesome. They're enthusiastic and interested in what we're doing. They provided help and suggestions, and we made a total over 1,400 samples of fruits and vegetables. So that's a lot of work and a lot of hands needed to make that happen. They were enthusiastic and friendly, and we just had a great time working together on this project.
For years, the library has been the central source for information, a place for books, newspapers, and periodicals, the place for resources for research, and the place for quiet time to study. So what's changed? According to these Henry Clay High Schoolers, the library needs a makeover.
Computers are really slow, and I spend more time logging onto the computer and waiting for it to load than I'd actually do working on it. So
I really imagine a place where people can just have that quiet, zen area that they can just work on what they need to.
Furniture, when we have to move it to fit big people, it's just not easy. It's really heavy and not convenient.
The geometry students were assigned a task to imagine a 21st century library for Henry Clay using mathematical skills as they calculated surface area, accounted for three-dimensional structures, and dealt with ratio and proportion measurements. They also considered cost of materials, furniture, and even painting.
This is our second year doing it. We use the guided inquiry design process. We actually went to an institute over the summer to learn more about the process. So the kids really get a chance to, this started in January. So they get a chance to start in January. They go on a field trip to look at other libraries. They explore different options of things that people can put into libraries. They They take all of the measurements, they make the scale drawings, all of those things themselves, and they get a lot of creativity and flexibility in what they want to do with the final project. They can renovate the whole thing, they can renovate just parts of it. It's really up to them.
Librarians were on hand and were thoroughly interested in the presentations as it opened their eyes to students' needs for learning and fresh ideas.
Collaboration, or is it just like every set of those tables are going to have computers on them?
This project is awesome because we get to get student feedback, we get to figure out what they're interested in from a librarian point of view. We see where our weaknesses are here in the library, where there's traffic flow issues. The kids come in and they look at this space completely differently than we do. And so, they're cutting edge as far as technology goes, and they want to be connected, and they're very much into collaboration. So these projects are helpful because we can merge our two ideas so that we can come up with a very functional space for both teachers and students together, because we are a place where we service both teachers and students alike.
I've been in the library a couple times before school started, and it seems like it's the hub of the school, but there are people that are outside that are waiting to come in. It's that packed.
Designing a more effective space that can handle large groups was also a determination.
Most all of the projects dealt with things being moved and stored more easily, and that's something we really need in our library.
So with ideas and presentations together, these geometry students laid the groundwork for a 21st century library at Henry Clay High School for future consideration.
So I have been blown away by the things that I've seen today. The PowerPoints that I've seen that the kids have presented they are increasingly getting better from day to day. The students have really put forth a lot of their own creativity. Last year when we did this project, I didn't have them present their calculations, and I think that's made a huge difference in what they've decided to do this year. They actually had to show me the calculations on the scale drawing, and last year I think they just kind of did it by hand. So my expectations have been pretty well blown away this year with what they've done.
Definitely some great work from those high school students. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the students, teachers, and staff for their hard work and determination this year, and we look forward to many more exciting events to cover next year. Well, that's a wrap for this school year. For more great programming on ETV 13, please tune in to Spectrum Channel 13 or visit us at fcpstv.vibit.com for more programs on demand. So from all of us here at ETV 13, thank you for watching, and we'll see you around the district. So long, everybody.